Right, let's have a look at question 9 then. So let's read it carefully and we'll highlight bits and pieces as we need. It says there are a total of 320, so we'll highlight that. 320 fare-paying passengers on a flight from Auckland to Cairns. The fare is 800 economy and 1500 business. So that's important. We need to highlight those two things. Altogether, the passengers have paid $285,400. It then actually gives you an equation. So let's have a look at this equation and what actually does it mean, because that will help us to probably answer the next part. And really what it means is that there are X number of economy class passengers that paid $800. There are Y number of business class passengers that paid $1,500. And that the total of all the airfares come to $285,400. So we could have formed that equation ourselves simply by the information that we have. We let X stand for economy class passengers, Y for business class passengers, and then we attach the cost. It kind of makes sense because if there are, for example, 10 economy class passengers paying $800 each, then 10 times 800 is 8,000. So I think if we continue to read through, it's in question C, it says solve the pair of simultaneous equations. All right, so we're going to create a couple of equations and to work out the number of business class passengers and the number of economy class passengers. So the two types of fare-paying passengers that we've got. Well, what does X represent? Well, we've already answered that question. X represents the number of economy class passengers. Y represents the number of business class passengers. So 1500Y then actually represents the total amount that the business class passengers paid altogether. So if there were 10 business class passengers, 10 times 1,500 would be 15,000. So that's what that represents. So we've looked at question A. I think we're comfortable with that. Let's move on to B. And B, it says, write down another equation that shows there were a total of 320 passengers. Well, remember, X represents the number of economy class passengers. Y represents the number of business class passengers. And we're told there are 320 passengers altogether. So therefore, X plus Y is equal to 320. Notice that this is different to the equation that we're given in that there are no prices attached to it. So with the equation just above, 800X plus 1,500, blah, 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 that one there talks about the amount paid. This equation X plus Y is equal to 320 just deals with the number of passengers that we actually have. All right, so what we've got is we've got two equations. I'll copy out the other one, write them underneath each other. Plus 1,500Y is equal to 285,400. Now we're going to need to solve these two simultaneously. Okay, so we've got two equations that are related to the same situation. Therefore, we can solve them to work out how many of each kind of passenger there is. That's what we're asked. Remember, X stands for economy, Y for business. So let's go and work out how many of each kind of passenger there were on this flight. Well, we could use the elimination method and set that up as, we could do A, B, multiply that through by 1,500 or 800 and eliminate. In fact, why don't we do that? I'll show you a couple of ways of doing it maybe. So we will set that up. Why don't I rub that up? So we set that up A and B. And the easiest thing to do probably is to make that 800A. So we're going to use the elimination method. And once I've done that, I'll show you another method as well. And then you can choose which one you're most comfortable with. So if I multiply A by 800, so I get 800X plus 800Y. Now I'll grab the calculator and just work out 320 times 800. And we get this amount here. We get 256 okay? So 256,000 when we do that. Then what we'll do is we're going to take B minus 800A. All right, so you can see there that the 800x minus 800x, x is eliminated, hence the elimination method. And then 1500y minus 800y, 700y. We'll just grab the calculator for the next bit. 285,400 minus 256,000, and that's equal to 29,400. So the last step then is to subtract or to divide by 700. So I'll just do that. Divide that by 700 and we get y is equal to 42. So what does y represent? Y represents a business class. So there's 42 business class passengers. Well, how many are in X then? Well, we've got X plus Y is equal to 320. It's really those that are left. So if you want to, you can just do a substitution again. X plus 42 is equal to 320. And then 320 minus 42, and X is equal to 278. And there's your economy class passengers. Actually, that's a very tidy way of doing it, just using the elimination method. It worked out quite nicely in this case. Another way of doing it is to use the substitution method, and I'll do that. I'll do it over to the right here. Hopefully you can still see. Perhaps I'll choose a different color. I'll go green. Green's nice for substitution method. And what we do with the substitution method is that first equation, the x plus y is equal to 320. I'm just going to subtract x from both sides of the equation, and I go y is equal to 320 minus x. Then I'll write out the equation that we've had before. And we're going to make a substitution. So wherever we see y, we're going to replace that with 320 minus x, and that's right there. So we make that substitution there. So I write it out again, 800x plus 1500, open up a bracket, 320 minus x is equal to, and I have to write really small, I can get it in, 285,400, there it is still. And we carry on. So 800x. Now we've actually eliminated y in this case. So 1500 times 320. And that's equal to 480,000 minus 1500x. And that's still equal to 285,400. I get negative 700x when I collect the x's together. 800x minus 1500x is equal to that. And what we do is I'm going to subtract 480,000 from both sides, which I'll do on the calculator. And we get this, we get 194,600 negative. And we're going to divide everything by negative 700. And we get 278. So look, we get the same result as we did before, okay? Although this time what we've done is we get x first, the number of economy, but it's the same. And then using the same process, 320 minus 278, you can see there that y is equal to 42. So either method works just fine. It's whatever you are most comfortable with. My first inclination would have been to go on with the substitution method. I tend to prefer that, but the elimination method worked really well. So again, you look at that, you think which one made most sense to you. Both of them work just fine.